What is up? Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm going to be breaking down the exact step-by-step process on how we collected over $427,000 cash for one of our clients, and consequently, that client went and bought themselves a Lamborghini Urus. You don't have to buy a Lambo, but this is what that client did, and I'm going to be showing you guys exactly how we were able to do that. Now, just before we get into this video, if you guys do find any value, make sure you go and follow my Instagram down below. It'll be in the description. Or if you're an operator, if you're running your own offer, a coach, then you can go and book in a free consulting call with the link down below. Without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, so as you guys can see here, over $427,000 cash collected, and our client bought a Lamborghini. So this is obviously just some proof. As you can see, our client, this is a Lamborghini Urus, a black one, in the Lambo, Rolex, Lambo, and then a Lambo again. Our client trades as well. That's the offer that he's on, that's the offer that he sells. And then we also have some payment proof, some PIFs, 4K PIFs, $3,000, $4,000, $2,000. You guys get the idea. So for this specific client, we were actually running two different types of funnels. So I'm going to be breaking down both of these funnels step by step, and essentially you guys will be able to implement this exact process into your own offers by the end of this video, so you can also get yourself a Lamborghini if you want to. So I'm going to go into the webinars first, because I always talk about the cool funnel. So starting off with webinars, the first thing that I want every single one of you guys to do, and the first thing that we did for this guy, Andre, is we reverse engineered the goal. Because the most important thing is actually understanding if webinars are even plausible for your audience. Let me give you an example. So let's say your goal for the webinar is $100,000 cash collected. To actually hit this 100K goal, you need to do the math. So let's say you have 1,000 applicants with an average of 75% show rate. That's 750 viewers. 20% of the viewers apply. That's 150 total applicants. 33% qualified booking rate. That means 50 calls need to be taken with an average of $2,000 cash collected per call taken. Then you'll hit the 100K goal on the webinar. And if these metrics aren't achievable, then you need to find out what actually is achievable for your specific client, because there are some people that aren't even worth running webinars for because their audience is too small. Or maybe you need to tap into cold traffic because your organic reach isn't large enough to actually hit the amount of applicants that you want to hit. So that's the first thing. Do the math, reverse engineer the goal for the webinar, and see if it's even plausible and if it's even worth your time. You don't want to be running a webinar if you're only going to make 10K from it. So reverse engineer the goal. Now, in terms of actual promotion for the webinar, we promoted over 3 different platforms. We used YouTube, Instagram, and ConvertKit. For those of you that don't know, ConvertKit is an email broadcast sender, and we did a 14-day promotion. So 2 weeks of promotion, and essentially in these 2 weeks, the whole idea behind it was to build hype via a unique mechanism. Now, I'll give you guys a great example here. We ran a masterclass for this client at the start of January. The unique mechanism for that masterclass was the 2026 strategy, the strategy that I'm using for 2026 to become a successful trader. So you want to essentially have a unique mechanism that builds as much hype as possible during the 14 days of promotion. You also want to have a marketing angle, which also ties in with the unique mechanism. You want to pre-handle objections, and obviously have a direct CTA in all of your content telling people to apply. So quickly, what I'll do is I'll show you this creator's YouTube channel. As you guys can see here, Andre Diaz, 41,000 subscribers, and he posts quite consistently. During the time of the webinar promotion, when we were running the webinars, he was posting around 10 to 14 videos in that 14-day promotion period. So he was posting almost every single day, and his content is very lifestyle orientated on this YouTube channel. He also has a second YouTube channel, which is Andre Diaz Extended, and this second YouTube channel is a lot more middle of funnel and bottom of funnel content. It's a lot more live trades, it's case studies, and all of this content here is going to be for the hotter and the warmer audience, and it's going to nurture people a lot more. Typically what you'll find is the lifestyle content is the type of content that gets eyeballs. For Andre, his lifestyle content is great because it gets eyeballs, and at the same time he provides value in that content, so it nurtures and it captures views. And then the Andre Diaz Extended channel, his second YouTube channel, is the one that really nurtures, especially with the case studies and the social proof, and it just shows people that he actually trades and does what he talks about. Now, real quick, I'll show you guys his Instagram as well. As you can see on Instagram, he has 39,000 followers, He posts quite consistently. He doesn't pull the most amount of views, but the amount of views that he does pull, it is enough to actually, go and collect that cash. He has a good organic reach, especially when you combine the Instagram and the YouTube. So overall, Andre, he has around 70,000 followers and subscribers across all platforms. And that is the main lever that we used and leveraged in our marketing to get people to actually apply for the masterclass. Now, obviously, there's ConvertKit as well. And for those of you that don't know, ConvertKit is an email sender. It's where we send out emails from. It's where we do the webinar email sequences, where we send out broadcasts. And Andre has a list of around 14,000 people in it. We didn't send out emails to the whole email list, because what you guys need to understand is email lists have different segments. You have colder people, you have warmer people, you have people that will open the emails and people that won't. And ultimately, you don't want to mess up your deliverability rate by sending out the email to people that won't even open it. So what we did do is we sent out emails to specific segments in ConvertKit, and that ultimately allowed us to get a lot more applicants as well. These emails were daily emails with CTAs, providing value, breaking down limiting beliefs, and ultimately getting people to apply for the masterclass. Now, obviously, when they go to apply for the masterclass, you need an application page. So as you guys can see here, this was the application page for the masterclass or the webinar. As you can see, the headline here, the exact day trading strategy I used to make $78,000 per month and used to become consistently profitable. This is an ICP call out. You're calling out the ICP and what they want to learn. Also here, this low risk proven system is helping people finally succeed at trading without being glued to the charts or stress about bad market conditions. That's also an ICP call out, because the ICP aren't people that want to be sitting in front of their screens, sitting in front of the charts all day, every single day. And then we had a timer here, because when people see the time going down, they're a lot more likely to actually take action and apply. Now, real quick, I'll just show you guys what the actual landing page looked like in full. As you can see, the headline that I mentioned earlier, free live masterclass. Obviously, you have the CTAs, the time and dates. You want to make that super clear, the time and date of the masterclass, so people don't forget it. Then underneath, obviously, you can see why does this trading system work in 2026. This was the marketing angle 2026, like I mentioned earlier. And essentially, you just want to make it a no-brainer for people to actually apply and sign up for this webinar. So we just broke down a couple of reasons why this trading system works and why it is something that everyone needs to be using in 2026. It works in every market condition. It's built for long-term consistency, and most trading systems are risky, but this one is beginner-friendly, low risk. And then obviously we also had what we'll cover in this free masterclass. So we just kind of teased people. We told people what would be covered in the masterclass. So if people saw this and they didn't apply, they would have FOMO, fear of missing out, because they saw what they could learn and they didn't sign up. So they'd essentially be missing out on learning all of these different things. So you want to promote FOMO in this page as well, because people are obviously not going to want to miss out on the value if it is marketed in the correct way. So we had 3 different lessons here that we were going to teach people, and then also a live Q&A at the end from Andre himself, answering personalized questions to different people's personal situations and whatever they kind of wanted. Underneath that, obviously, you just have a little introduction to Andre, a bit about him, just to kind of build rapport and trust and kind of get people to know Andre on a more personal level. That way they feel like they have a lot more trust with Andre, as they can actually understand his story and where he came from. Now, after the application page, you have the post-application page. It's pretty straightforward. The post-application page contains the next steps, it sets the frame, and it pre-qualifies people. As you guys can see here, you've locked in your spot. You are 1 step closer to success. So step 1 was go check your email to confirm your spot. Make sure you move all my emails to primary if I end up in spam. You should get an email like this from us in a few minutes. And then obviously we attached a screenshot of an example confirmation email that everyone that applies will receive. The whole point of this email is to essentially confirm their subscription to the email list. It helps to improve deliverability, open rate, and click-through rate. So ultimately, we can get the most out of all of the emails that we send. Underneath, obviously, you can see step 2. Step 2 is just a video that people must watch. It's a confirmation video, a pre-webinar video. It's just 2 minutes. It's not long. It just goes over what to expect for the masterclass, pre-handles objections, and ultimately, it just helps to increase the show rate because it just builds loads of hype, and it's Andre himself speaking in the video. And then we also have some other steps, your steps to get the most out of the free class. we have a private link to join the free class at 3 p.m. EST. So obviously we put the date there so people wouldn't forget. We used Webinar Jam to host the masterclass or the webinar. And then step number 4 was joining the private Telegram for exclusive insights before the free masterclass. We use this private Telegram to nurture, convert, and indoctrinate people in the promotion period, but I'll get into that more later. So after the post application page, we have the pre-masterclass process. Obviously, now people have actually applied for the webinar. Now the main thing that we need to focus on is actually getting them to show up so that they can watch the webinar and ultimately be converted at the end. So applicants get redirected to a masterclass weight room Telegram channel, like I just mentioned. As you can see here, Andre Diaz masterclass lobby. Here's an example of some of the announcements that we were posting. If you're reading this, you've locked in your spot for the masterclass. Most people will scroll past this opportunity and wonder why they're still broke in 6 months. You won't be one of them. November 20th, 3 p.m. EST, I'm pulling back the curtain on exactly how I went from blowing accounts to consistently pulling 5-figure months as a trader in a real predictable system. What you will notice about these Telegram announcements is they are designed in a very specific way to build hype, to build FOMO, and to ultimately nurture people because they do not want to miss out on this trading strategy that we will be revealing. This is a crucial point, a crucial thing that we implemented to increase show rate and to indoctrinate prospects and warm them up so much that by the time they're on the webinar, they are super warm and hot, and essentially they're just ready to give us their money. So in this Telegram channel, we have daily announcements. We never miss a day. Across the 14 days, we're at least posting 1 announcement every single day, sometimes 2 announcements, sometimes even 3 announcements. Right, we're breaking limiting beliefs. We're sending assets to nurture. These can be value dense videos, value dense assets. They can be case studies to relate to the ICP and break down limiting beliefs. We're building hype, creating FOMO, fear of missing out in the messaging in these announcements. We're sending reminders for the actual time and date of the masterclass so people don't forget. What you guys need to understand is people are very, very forgetful. So you need to be reminding people of the time and date constantly so that they put it in their calendar and they show up. And then ultimately all of this is indoctrination. We are indoctrinating leads through this process to get them to show up nurtured, ready, and indoctrinated, ready to give us their money because they are already so bought in to what Andre or the creator has to give them. Now the next part of the pre-masterclass process is the emails. All applicants get automatically added to a webinar sequence. The emails have a similar purpose to the Telegram channel, but it's just from a different angle. The point of these emails is to pre-handle objections, break down limiting beliefs, send assets to nurture, build hype, and also send reminders. So we have 2 touch points when it comes to pre-masterclass, pre-webinar nurturing for applicants. We have this Telegram channel, touch point number 1, where we're doing all of these things here. And then we have touch point number 2, where we're pretty much doing the same things, but in a different format to double down and nurture people even more. As you can see here, we have a January webinar sequence. Obviously, this was for the webinar that we ran in January. It's an automated sequence that is ran through Zapier. So as people apply, it zaps through to Zapier and takes the applicant's email and adds it to this ConvertKit sequence. Super simple to set up and ultimately helps to automate the emails and automate the nurturing process. Now, 24 hours before the webinar is live, we have a specific hammer them process that we use. Obviously, we hammer them through email and Telegram. Obviously, we're sending Telegram and email reminders. So we're reminding them that the masterclass or the webinar is in 24 hours. We have 24 hours, 12 hours, 8 hours, 6 hours, 3 hours, 1 hour, and we have like a 10-minute and 5-minute reminder as well. So we're just hammering people that have applied to make sure they show up. So you want to make sure that the show rate is as high as possible. These reminders, they don't need to be super value dense. They don't need to be super long emails or Telegram announcements. They need to be short, brief, straight to the point, create FOMO, and get people to show up. That is the most important thing, because once people actually show up to the masterclass, they are so much more likely to convert because they're watching the creator live, speak to them, give them value, and answer their questions. Now, obviously, we have the live webinar after that. The webinar structure is very, very straightforward. We have an introduction about the creator, explaining themselves, their story, and why they are credible. People need to understand, why should I trust you over someone else? Then you show results from yourself and your students. You transition into value. You finish the value section and you move into the pitch. You pitch and then you do a Q&A after the pitch. And then during the Q&A, you can even add some more subtle CTAs to help increase the amount of applicants that you guys are getting. So throughout the whole webinar, you want to keep the audience engaged and tease a big announcement and a Q&A at the end. Now, the big announcement is obviously the pitch. So during the introduction, you can say something like, at the end of this masterclass, I'm going to be doing a big announcement. So make sure you guys stick to the end. It is super important. I don't want any of you guys to miss this. That way, people will watch to the end because they have FOMO of this big announcement. So typically the webinar length should be around 90 minutes. It depends on who your ICP is. It can be shorter, it can be a bit longer, but generally 90 minutes is a good benchmark. Now, post-webinar, we also run announcements and emails as well. This is targeting attendees and people who dropped off. We can also run a webinar replay, and we have CTAs to join the exclusive offer, and we promote scarcity. So here's a quick example of an email that we send out post-webinar. First name, this is subscriber first name. I forgot to mention this. Super simple, relates to the ICP. Yo, first name. Yesterday's masterclass was different, the good kind. I could feel it during the masterclass, the energy, the focus. The people were actually ready to change their lives. And at the end, I made a decision. I opened up 20 spots in the FBA Inner Circle. This email is essentially just CTAing to the exclusive offer, which in this case is the FBA Inner Circle. And like I mentioned 1,000 times in this video, you want to have FOMO. People buy into FOMO. It's all psychological. Fear of missing out. People do not want to miss out on something that could potentially change their life. So you really want to double down on that. And here's a Telegram announcement example. Good morning, everybody. 20 new spots to the FBI Inner Circle. Pretty much the same thing, just in a different format. Again, FOMO, scarcity, 20 spots, filling fast. So that is pretty much the entire webinar process that we use for this specific client. If you guys want to see how we run the sales side of things, go and watch some of my previous videos because I've covered the sales side of things about 5 times already. So go and watch the previous videos as well. So very quickly, what I'm also going to do is break down the call funnel and how we were actually able to scale this client's offer with the call funnel to help them buy that Lambo as well. So traffic, again, was pretty similar to the masterclass, YouTube, Instagram, and ConvertKit. It was completely organic. We were able to print because of a dialed in process. Like I previously mentioned, he had around 70,000 followers total on all platforms. So not a crazy amount, but we had enough organic traffic that we were able to print, and we had a dialed in process that we were able to scale. So when it came to the organic traffic, obviously Instagram, a mix of middle of funnel and top of funnel content to get eyeballs and attract the dream follower. Here's a little Instagram reel targeting concept. As you can see, this big circle here is the total amount of views that an Instagram reel gets. The dream follower is this lighter gray circle here. And then the ICP is this dark gray here. So ultimately, it is going to be the hardest to get your ICP to watch the video. Because your ICP is a very specific type of person, typically Instagram is going to push your Instagram reel out to a larger audience, which is why the circle is larger. So getting your ICP specifically and targeting them specifically can be a bit difficult, but what we want to do is target the dream follower in the Instagram reel, because when you target the dream follower, you're automatically targeting the ICP. And the great thing about targeting a dream follower through your content is your dream follower isn't that far away from your ICP. They just need a bit more nurturing, and you need to break down the limiting beliefs a bit more, and then they'll become your ICP to actually sell to. So as you can see here, like I mentioned previously, Andre's Instagram, 39,000 followers. He posts relatively consistently, and he has that organic traffic, which we leveraged in Reels, in Stories, in highlights and social proof. As you can see here, wins, team wins, more wins, results, more profits. So he really doubles down. We really got this client to double down on social proof, because ultimately social proof nurtures people, creates FOMO, and just shows people that what Andre actually teaches is real, and it works for other people. So why can't it work for that prospect? Now, in terms of the YouTube channel, we had a main YouTube channel with lifestyle, top of funnel, middle funnel content. Then obviously a second YouTube channel, like I mentioned previously, with live trades and testimonials / student interviews. Like I mentioned previously, we have the live trades and the student interviews and the case studies to help nurture and convert people the most. And then on this main channel, a lot of middle funnel and top of funnel content, vlogs. I made 6K trading, I made 20K trading, lots of these type of videos which ultimately nurture people, collect eyeballs. And this channel here, nurtures people a lot more because the case studies show a lot of social proof. So like I just mentioned, the Instagram and main YouTube attract eyeballs and get people curious. The second channel does nurturing and converting. All videos and content include CTAs to apply. When running this funnel, all traffic is directed to the VSL page. So here's a quick example of the VSL page that we have for Andre. The exact strategy to consistently make multiple six figures in profit with trading each month. It's a very simple and very straightforward landing page. It's always best to keep landing pages simple, to not overcomplicate it. That way drop-off rate is going to be low and the amount of applicants that you're going to get is going to be super high. As you can see, we have case studies and social proof, YouTube videos, and then underneath we also have screenshots of student wins. That way people can see that what Andre teaches actually works, and ultimately they are going to trust him a lot more and want to apply for the program. So overall, that is pretty much how we run everything for Andre Diaz, this client who we collected $427,000 cash collected for, and he bought a Lamborghini from that. So I hope you guys found value from this video. If you guys want to see the sales and the back end process, I would suggest go and watch some of my previous videos. I've broken it down in depth there. So those videos will definitely help you guys out. Now, if you guys did find any value from this video whatsoever, like I said, make sure you drop my Instagram a follow, make sure you subscribe. And if you guys are a coach, a consultant, an operator, go and book in a call down below. On this call, we'll kind of just chat, see if we're a good fit to work together, see if we can help each other out. And if we are, then we can get things rolling. Now, I appreciate you guys watching this video, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. Peace.